All right, what's up, guys? Today what we're going to be doing, let me showing you how to install a set of our quad row high intensity wheel lights. This is a local customer, so he wanted it inside and outside of the band, so we're using a skinnier band normally. Normally the quad rows will have a wider band that's just a little bit wider, and both strips will go on the outside, but really you could do either way. You know, either way, it's a quad row. It's got 2 rows on the outside and 2 rows on the inside, so that's total of 4 rows total. So yeah, this is pretty much what we're doing today. So anyways, you'll either way have a wider band, skinnier band. You'll have a band here. A good tool to have is some locking pliers, like these. Get them anywhere, but really helps a lot. It gives you a third hand. But anyway, so what you do is you got your ring separated here, and it's fully adjustable. This is why ours are different than a lot of people's. Yeah, you gotta wrap your strips on. That really is very simple. It's not hard to do at all. But anyways, the reason why it's like that is our wheel lights have full adjustability, whether you have a 1500, 2500, 3500, 4500. We have 15 inches to almost 19 inches in diameter. It's 18.5 inches in diameter total that our rings will go to. So essentially what you do is you'll take your ring, you'll put it on around your rotor and caliper, and you'll move it further apart if you want it bigger, smaller. Just get the diameter of the ring and center it up the best that you can and the way that you like it. So that's what we're gonna go with, is about that diameter. All right, and now you're gonna take, where it helps a lot, take your locking pliers and we'll just lock it closed there. And then now you'll get a drill bit, and we recommend using rivets. These are the rivets that we're using right here. Show you the size. This is the size of rivets that we're using. You don't have to use this size. This size is the best though. They're thicker, last longer. Anyways, so you're gonna get a drill bit that is the same size as your rivet here. So you see your thickness of your rivet. Get a drill bit that is roughly the same size as your rivet. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna drill a hole into the metal ring right here, and this will secure the ring. This will secure the ring together into a full ring. You can use bolts, self tappers, whatever you want to use. Rivets is what we recommend, but use whatever you want to use. It's up to you. All right, do that. Put your rivet in it. Get your rivet gun. This is a battery powered one. You can get a handheld one, whatever you want to do. And there you go. So now you got one rivet there. Go ahead and move your locking pliers over to the other side, help hold it. Drill bit, drill another hole. All right, put you one more rivet. We like to put 2, just to help secure it, make it stronger, last longer. All right, that one's done. All right, so now you have a ring that's solid, not going anywhere, right? All right, so now you'll center it up the way you want it. Now, here's a helpful tip that you can use. We're only gonna use one of them. You can use both of them if you choose to. That's really the best way. But what we're gonna do is take the brake caliper bolt that's on the slide here that goes on the bracket of the brake caliper. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of our L brackets here, and we're gonna drill, or what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it, sandwich it between the brake caliper and the bracket. Kind of like that, if you see what I'm talking about. All right. And what I like to do is, so, you got it sandwiched. Let me see if I can show you here what I'm talking about. See how we got it sandwiched between there? You can see that the bracket is inside there. So what we're gonna do is, so once you get that in there, get it sandwiched the way you like it, take your bolt and take it and stick it through the back, and kind of, you'll make a mark on your bracket. Give you an exact spot to drill through. So can you see how the bolt here kind of made a little mark on the bracket here? So that tells you where you can drill a hole. All right, so now what we're gonna do is get a drill bit that's the same size as your bolt and drill a hole through the bracket so that this bolt will go through, just like that. All right, so now what we've done, we got the bolt put through here, sandwiching the bracket in there. What I like to do is now is I go ahead and stick my ring on my bracket, take my locking pliers here, lock it into place. You can kind of get it adjusted so your ring looks center, right? So now we got that. Now what you do is you tighten your bolt back up. All right, tighten your bolt back up. So now you may have to take that bracket and kind of just bend it or L it over a little bit to, get it to the exact angle, 90-degree angle that you're looking for. They're aluminum, they'll bend easy. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes they'll fit just right, but sometimes you may have to bend the bracket slightly just to kind of get them where you want them to be at. So now what you do is we'll rivet the ring to the bracket that we just mounted. Alright, so ring to there. Now we'll get our rivet and put us a rivet right in the ring there. Alright, so now this ring is secure here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our other brackets here. Let me move you guys to this side. All right, so now take your other bracket, slide it in here, take your pliers, lock this bracket into place up here. So now you can kind of, adjust your ring to how you want it to look here on the outside. About like that. Now we'll lock it into place here. There. And we'll take a drill bit, drill us a hole into the dust shield here. All right. When you're doing that, be careful. You can do it with the rotor caliper on. It's not going to hurt anything. Just try not to drill into the rotor. Get ready to pull back on the drill right as soon as the bit's about to go through the dust shield. Yeah, it'll be fun. So now you put your rivet in here. All right, got it riveted to the dust shield. You can put one or two rivets in the sides here. All right, so now we got two brackets mounted in two places. I'm gonna add a third bracket. See, right about this location here. You can do it, like I said, you can do it a few different ways. You can do, rivet two brackets onto the dust shield this way and do one on the caliper. The best way really is to use the caliper bolts for two brackets and then put one bracket on this front. But we decided to go do it this route here on this one. Really, essentially, you just need three brackets, spread out two on one side and one on the other, or vice versa. Just get the brackets spread out evenly, fairly evenly around the dust shield that you can. There's some spots obviously like you can't mount to, like this is obviously in the way, so it'd be hard to drill through the dust shield there. Essentially spread your 3 brackets out around the ring, rivet them on, pretty much set to go after that. Okay, so now the ring is solid, not going anywhere, mounted good. Got 3 good mounting spots. All right, so that's pretty much all it goes into mounting the ring. This is exactly how a wheelite should properly be mounted. Nice and straight, even around the rotor and caliper. Yep. So now what we're gonna do is wrap the LED strips around the ring. Essentially what you're gonna do is now it's time to wrap our high intensity strips around the ring. You'll get 2 rolls of these, 4 on each roll. We're gonna use 2 of them to go around this ring here. All right. So here's a good look at our strips here. They're fully gel filled, no air, fully waterproof. Some of the brightest dual row LED strips on the market. 2 of these together are quad. So pretty much what you do now is you will get some zip ties, take your rings or your strips here, and you're just gonna wrap them around. Pretty simple. So what I like to do is this one, we're doing 2 in and 2 out. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna secure one on the inside and one on the outside. Just take them, line them up around the ring just like that. Take your zip tie. Okay. So now once you do that, you can take the strip and just kind of help wrap itself around. It may overlap a little bit, which is fine. No problem at all. Kind of like that. Get your strip centered up around here. I want it. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is just gonna go around the ring and start putting zip ties on it. Once you get all the zip ties put on, just go over here and snip all the ends off flush here. Alright, so that is pretty much it. Get the ring zip tied around. So it's on this ring. It's not going anywhere. These strips are not going to fall off. It's not going anywhere. I mean, it's on there good. So that's pretty much how they should be installed. Now what we'll do is we'll get onto the wiring. You're going to basically repeat this process for all 4 wheels. It's pretty much the same on all 4 wheels. You can see over here, already got the ring mounted. We're going to wrap some strips around it. Get some strips wrapped around it. Go ahead and mount the rears. Basically just repeat that process for all 4, and then I'll pick up with you guys when we go to wire everything up. All right, guys, so we got the back 2 done now. Just give you an overview how we did it. Same thing, 3 brackets per ring. Just took 1. Use the brake caliper bolt here, sandwiched it between, riveted it there. And we used 2 more brackets back here. 1 riveted to the dust shield, another one riveted to the dust shield, riveted to the ring, riveted to the ring. Same thing on that side. So now all 4 rings are mounted very sturdy. They're not going anywhere. Kind of how it looks. Now we'll get the strips, wrap the strips around, and then I'll pick up you guys when we go start running all the wires. All right, guys, so now we got all 4 rings mounted and all 8 strips secured to all the rings, okay? So now when it comes to wiring, it's pretty simple. It's hot and ground, positive, negative. You're just gonna daisy chain this stuff together. So you got like, you know, a red and a black and a red and black per strip. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna twist the 2 reds together, twist the 2 blacks together, and crimp them together, and then crimp your wire that you're gonna run to your switch onto the other side of the crimp. So what you're gonna need is, you're gonna need some strippers, some crimpers and cutters, and you will need some crimps here. I have the waterproof kind. You don't have to use these. You can use really whatever you want, but the waterproof ones are the best. Anyways, get some crimps. I'll move you over here to this side so you can kind of see what we're doing here. All right, so now we're gonna kind of throw our wire down here. What we're gonna do is make sure that this is good and even. So we're gonna kind of run the wires down this brake line here. So we're gonna make sure that these are even. So we're gonna cut this off. Go ahead and strip some of this back. All right. Be careful when you are stripping. I know some of you guys probably will have those strippers that you have to like pull like this. Do not pull on the wires. It's solder. It's not weld. It's not permanent. You know, it's not like it's not as strong as a weld. So when you're stripping these wires, be careful. Not pull on them. Hold one end of it. Anyway, so strip all your wire off here. Okay, so now once you get this, you're gonna take your red wire and twist it together with your other red wire. And your black wire and twist it together with your other black wire. All right, now you're gonna take your crimp connect, put your crimp on. So now what you've basically done is you turned 4 wires into 2 wires. So now what we're gonna do, take our other wire here, strip it off. So now once you get all that done, you're pretty much gonna take your wires here, hide them, run them all the way down, and go over to the chunk here. So what we're gonna do is run them about this up in here. All right, what you can do now is you can get some conduit, some black tape. Some conduit and black tape this up right here, get it all nice, run it. I'm gonna come back and do that toward the end, but at the moment, I'm just gonna continue running this wire and get it zip tied up properly. All right, so I'm gonna come back later and put some black tape conduit over that so it hides it a little bit better. But right now, so now basically you've got this wheel light connected together into one set of hot and ground, and you ran it up your brake line here. And I just have it cut off right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the other wheel light, run it up, and splice these together. We'll have, we're basically gonna take both of these wheel lights and turn them into one hot and ground that's gonna run all the way to the front. So I'll take you over, pick up you guys on the passenger side here. Now we got both rings ran up, going up the brake line here, center of the truck. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to set you guys here so you can see what is going on. All right, so now we're basically gonna take both of these wires. This is one wheel light here, and this is the other wheel light here. We're gonna do the same thing we did over here on the strips to this. So. Okay, so just like everything else, red goes to red. Black goes to black. Okay. Now, like I said, you can go ahead and heat shrink all these, wrap black tape around and make it nice and clean. But I'm on a time crunch here, so I'm gonna hurry up and get everything ran, and then I'll come back and do that last. But essentially now, all you're gonna do is take this big, your long piece of wire that you stretched out that's gonna go all the way to the front, and just route it. Route it up your brake line here, over your frame. Run it all the way to the front. It is nice to keep in mind, check which side your battery is on. If I am not mistaken, battery's on the driver's side of this truck. So I'm gonna run mine up the driver's side frame rail of the truck. If your battery would be on your passenger side, it would be smarter to go ahead and run your wire over on the passenger side of your frame and then run it up your truck. That way you don't have to cross over your engine or anything like that. It'll already be ready to go as soon as you pull it up into the engine bay. I'm just going down the factory wiring harness here of the truck and just taking the wire and clipping it into these little clips. This looks pretty good. It's just ran down the factory harness of the truck here. I'm gonna basically just keep doing that. Now you basically just take your wire here, and you're gonna run it behind your fender liner and push it up into your engine bay here. Just kind of push it up in there for right now. We'll grab it from above. Anyways, so that's the back, ran up into the engine bay pretty much. So now what we're gonna do is do the same thing on the front. We're gonna splice in here, connect, run this wire all the way up into the engine bay, and do the same thing on the passenger side. And on the passenger side, we're gonna run it. Once we run it up into the engine bay, we're gonna run that wire over the engine bay where the firewall is and connect it in near the battery right above here. All right, so once you get all this connected up, your hot and your grounds are connected, you run it up your brake line and pull it up into the engine bay. Keep in mind, leave some extra slack in the wire here for turning. So when you're on the front end, when it turns, it doesn't, yank on it or pull the wires out of this. Just kind of leave some slack in the wire here. Keep it, just tuck it up like that. You're gonna run it up the brake line, and you'll run everything up into the engine bay, and just do that for both sides. And once we get all that done, what we'll do is we'll lower the truck down, open the hood, and then we'll get above and inside the engine bay, and we'll start pulling everything up and getting everything connected to our remote and everything up into the engine bay. All right, so I was wrong. In this truck, the battery's on the passenger side, not the driver's side, but that's no big deal. We'll just... All right, so now we have everything routed up, and then bend down and check your fender liner here. Make sure you can't see anything hanging down, anything like that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing we did back there. We're gonna cut and daisy chain these together. Okay, so essentially what we have here, okay, we have the rear rings piecing together and one positive negative strand running up to the driver's side. The driver's side ring goes up into the engine bay. The two rear rings go up into the engine bay on the driver's side. Both of those have been pieced together over there and ran across the engine bay, across this wiring harness here, all the way to here. So one set of wires has the two rear rings and the front ring on it, and another set of wires has this front ring here on it. So essentially what we have here, this is all four rings that's been daisy chained down into one positive and negative connection. Right here. Okay, so now we have a positive and negative connection. Okay, so what you could do, run it to your, switch into your dash. This is really helpful. I mean, this cuts your install time down by at least 30 minutes. So I'm not sure if you've ever ran wires through a firewall, but it can be a pain in the butt. So this right here really helps that. What this is a wireless remote. Okay, here's your key fob. It goes on your keychain, on, off. It works from up to like 100 feet away. So essentially, instead of running, if you ran a toggle switch, what you'd have to do is connect a hot and ground to the battery and run it over through the firewall up into your dash, mount your switch, connect your hot and your ground to your switch. Then on the other side of the switch, you'll have another hot and ground that comes out, and then it'll come back through your firewall, run all the way to where your wheel lights are, and then you'll have that hot and ground that'll tap into this hot and ground. So that way, essentially what power does is flow from the battery through the firewall, goes through the switch, the on-off switch, and then it comes back out the firewall, comes over here, connects to this, goes into this, and lights up all four of your wheel lights. That's what you'd have to do if you have a toggle switch. Now, what you have to do here is connect this hot and black to your wires that go to your wheel lights, and this positive and negative hot and black, red and black to your battery. That's simply all you have to do. Cuts your install time down by at least 30 minutes or more. And on that, you don't have an ugly hole in your dash with a switch, whatever, you don't have to do none of that. And it's wireless, so you can. All right, so now we have the hot and ground of the input side of the remote is connected to the hot and ground of the battery. And then the hot and ground of the output side of the remote is connected to the wires that run to the wheel lights. Now just kind of hide all your wires and secure the box down. All right, guys, so these are Quadro high intensity wheel lights. We've got everything hooked up, all the wires ran, cleaned up very nice. Everything's hidden well. So once you get everything done, connected with your remote or your switch, just test them out. So here you go.